Hi, this is Scott Ware, the editor and publisher of Radiance Magazine. And also you can watch these interviews on the Radiance channel on the Xpnsion network. You can find the magazine at radiancemagazine.org. And I have with me today Enrique Villanueva. He is, well, he's actually very famous in some circles. He has over 1 million views of just one of his videos on YouTube. And Enrique is fascinating. He's been on a lot of interview shows. He was born in Lima, Peru, and he's had a few UFO sightings and he's had a few contacts. In fact, more than a few. He had his first sighting at the age of 7, and then he joined the Rama mission, a group of contact founded by the internationally well-known Peruvian contactee, Sixto Paz Wells. And there he was initiated into the protocol for contact with terrestrials. We're going to find out about something about that and about the actual contact that he's had. Hello, Enrique. Thanks for being here.
Hello, Scott. Nice to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. And I know you're going to be at the Conscious Life Expo, or if people are watching this, you were at the Conscious Life Expo in February of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're a hypnotherapist, is what you do for a living. Is that correct?
Yes, I've been practicing for the last decade in Southern California. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's what you do. You've written some books in Spanish, and you do maybe one workshop a year, but you have a lot to say when you go to these expos. What is in this video that 1 million people have seen, and why do you think so many people are gravitating to it?
Well, that specific video is about anxiety disorders. And most of my videos were related to spiritual messages. And this one was different. I posted like 2 years ago, I think 2016, yeah.
Oh, so this has nothing to do with aliens, this particular one?
No, this one was about anxiety disorders, and the video is about 20 minutes in length, and I shared with the people my insights about how you can actually walk the path out of anxiety. I think it's not only possible, but you can do it if you follow up with the advice I give in the video. And the thing is, it became so popular because it's really powerful. In those 20 minutes, I'm sharing step by step what they need to do. And many people just watching the video get rid of anxiety disorders. So that's amazing, I think.
Okay, great. So I didn't watch it because I assumed it would be in Spanish. Is it in Spanish?
It is in Spanish, yes.
Okay. And I thought it was going to be about aliens and about your work with them. But I assume you have some videos about your talks like that, and people are watching those. I know you have 200,000 people following you on one channel, 200,000 on another. Those aren't about anxiety, right?
One of those channels is about anxiety disorders. The other is about spirituality and coaching in spirituality, where I share some of the videos related to the alien contact phenomenon. Yeah.
Okay, and you've been in contact with multi-dimensional beings. You have that ability to do that, but we're on the anxiety. So why don't you just share with us, what are your secrets? You're helping people as a hypnotherapist in Los Angeles, actually. People can look you up, Enrique Villanueva. What are your secrets to dealing with anxiety?
Well, for me, it's not a secret, but what I find interesting is that through the experience of contact, I think you develop this sense, this intuition, and maybe you see resources where other people cannot see them. For me, it's just like a logical way of thinking, connecting dots and putting things together. And then I find out this way of therapy that works so well. And maybe some other things, like in 2013, I channeled this technique called REM healing. And many people are using that way of healing also. And it's not just for anxiety. They use it for many different illnesses. And
so you downloaded or channeled this healing method a lot of people are using. Can you give a few hints of what that's all about?
Well, the REM healing came as an answer. I was trying to understand what happened to me when my father died in 2004. Um, I was in the living room reading some books. My father was in Peru. He was with a lung cancer. He was in really bad shape, close to pass. And I was giving lectures here in Southern California to get the money to buy some medicine from China. Every bottle was like $1,000, so it was really expensive. And I was hoping to save my father with that medicine. The thing is, I was reading that book in preparation for a lecture I was going to give 2 hours later, when suddenly the room I was in changed. The room became bigger and white, and there were no furniture around the room, and it was huge. And in the middle of the room, I saw my father. He was standing there, but he looked really young. He looked like a kid in his 19, 20 years old.
Okay.
His hair was all black, and he was skinny, wearing
So this was a vision you were having. You weren't taking plant medicine or anything like that.
nothing like that. I was reading in preparation for my lecture. I was really aware and conscious. And at that moment, when I saw my father, I immediately recognized it was him, but super young and healthy and happy. And I remember looking at him and thinking, this is crazy, what is going on? And then my father opened his mouth, and his voice got like an effect, like an echo sound in the whole room, which was a big room now, I don't know why. And the voice says, son, only fear dies. When he said that, I was in shock, not just because of the message, which was really deep, but also because of his voice. The last time I talked to him on the phone, his voice was not coming out because he got the lungs full of cancer. So,
oh, okay.
And looking at him so young, so powerful, it was amazing. But I asked him, Dad, what is this? What is going on? And then the phone started ringing, and the whole image vanished in front of me. So I ran towards the phone, and I answered, and it was my mom. And she told me, your dad just passed away. So that was at the exact moment my dad was dying that I have that connection with him, and he somehow get to project himself into the room.
Okay.
That was amazing to me because I was thinking, what happened? What did trigger this possibility of connecting with him at that exact moment?
Right.
For years, I asked myself what it was. My mom told me at some point that a priest in Lima told her that if she reads this prayer at the moment my father was in agony, and she was going to be able to see his soul departing or coming out of his physical body. But she says, it didn't happen to me. I was reading the thing when he passed away, but you are the one that saw him hundreds of miles away from him.
Right.
So I asked myself what happened, and keep searching about it, about near-death experiences. And it occurred to me at some point that I realized there was a kind of therapy called EMDR. Probably you heard about it.
Yes.
You use the eye movement in order to help your brain process information that was stuck there. Let's say a post-traumatic stress disorder. You
yes, it's very effective.
Projections, and you get the resolution of that issue, right?
Yes.
And the thing is, a psychologist in Chicago, I think, Alan Bootkin, he was experiencing with EMDR, I think it was in the 90s, 95 maybe? No, 2000 something, I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly the date, but Bootkin was using the EMDR with the veterans in order to help them with post-traumatic stress. And it seems that because there were so many veterans, he used a short version of the EMDR. And what happened is this short version, which was faster, made the veterans jump into a visionary state or a hallucinatory state. That's what Putin thought in the beginning. But in this hallucination, they could contact their families or whoever already passed to the other side. And that was interesting. When I read about it, I started searching about the work of Alan Bootkin, and he already called his therapy is induction to after-death communication.
Induction to after-death communication.
Yes, there is even a documentary about this. It's really interesting because in time, Budkin realized it was not any hallucination. These people from the other side could really give information back to the people in here. And when I read about it, it clicks. It's like I put the dots together. At the time I was having the experience with my dad, I was reading at fast speed this volume. So my eyes were moving from one side to another because I was checking information at very fast speed. And because of the eye movement, I think that triggered the connection with my dad at the moment.
Okay.
So I understood that that priest that advised my mom to use the prayer, he didn't realize that it's not actually the prayer, but the movement of the eyes.
Ah, okay.
So I realized there is something about this. And studying about it, I realized that we have this phase during the dream state where you enter into the REM, the rapid eye movement. Your eyes move when you are in the paradoxical dream.
Yes.
And that's a very creative phase of your sleep where you connect information, where you get information from a source nobody knows, because it seems that the volume of information that you receive during that stage is bigger than the information you manage when you are awake. So what is going on? What are we contacting with when we are in that paradoxical dream?
So you created a method or modality that you, from those experiences, from connecting the dots, that you use in your practice to help relieve anxiety?
I use it for anxiety, yes, but I use a combination of many different modalities. But the REM healing was coming through that connecting dots. At some point, I get to the theories of this French physicist, Garnier Mallet. He discovered what he calls the doubling theory. And that doubling theory is already recognized in science. But then the doubling theory also talks about the possibility of we existing in a quantum field in the future, not just in this moment.
Oh, okay.
So Garnier Mallet talks about the possibility of contacting the future self, your future self, through the REM phase of your sleep. So he actually gave the people a protocol to use at the moment you are going to sleep in order to communicate with your double in the future. So this self is going to download information at the moment you are sleeping. So I thought it was really difficult because nobody actually can concentrate at the last minute of going to sleep. It's really hard to do that.
It's difficult, yes.
I started meditating on that and I realized, okay, if it's about the REM, I can induce myself to an REM. I already did once with my father. How about if I meditate, moving my eyes in a certain way, and maybe, just maybe, I can connect with my future self and download some information. So I did that. I put myself in meditation and started moving my eyes under my eyelids. Suddenly, I received a violent download of information that became REM healing. And
wow. So can anyone do that at any time? Just start doing that and just be open to what comes, or they need to do anything else?
Well, you can do it. You can try it, and probably you're going to receive something. But the REM healing is actually a modality that combines the use of your spine as it's like your spine describes symbolically the way you go through time. Let's say the past is at the bottom of your spine, and the future is at the top of your head. Okay. So what happened is when you are doing this kind of meditation, you move your eyes from the past to the present, which is in the center of your chest, to the top of your head, which is the future. And you go in different moments, moving the eyes and looking at the connection you are creating. And then you ask for the resolution of some issues, some problem. And what happened is you are downloading the information that is going to heal or correct the situation. this is not actually a healing modality of the body. This is
Okay.
actually a correction in the timeline. So there are many different events around you that are going to be fixed, not just yourself, but your connection with the field of reality you are in.
Did you
Recently,
write it? Did you write about this in one of your books?
no, not yet, not yet. I'm collecting infos for the last 3-4 years about REM healing, and soon I'm going to be writing a book about it. But for now, there is nothing out there but my videos, mostly in Spanish and a few in English about REM healing. A week ago, I just received the news from a woman. She's from Mexican descendants, and she was practicing the video of the REM healing, and she told me that she got a cancer, a metastatic cancer, I think in the lungs. She told me it was stage 4. It was really advanced. So she went to the hospital for, she was going to be there for radiation.
Mm-hmm.
She was interned for 2 weeks already. And they already did the exam of the tissues and everything. And it seems that the day they were going to operate on her or do the radiation, she was already practicing the REM for 2 weeks in the hospital. And she told me that when they were going to start the radiation, they realized there was no cancerous tissue anymore.
Wow.
So look,
Okay.
I'm not saying that the REM healing is going to heal everybody, because I've seen maybe 75% of the time people receive some kind of healing.
Sure.
But 5% of the time people don't even realize what happened. It's like your conscious mind cannot tolerate the shifting in reality, so you avoid it. You don't have the recollection of whatever was fixed.
Okay. That's amazing. I mean, you look forward to you publishing that and getting it in the English-speaking world as well to share that healing information.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
now, we're going to get to the aliens, but has your experience with aliens built your relationship with the universe or with yourself, or enhanced your spirituality in ways that have helped you in your hypnotherapy business and to be able to download this healing information? If you had never experienced aliens when you were young and not joined that group, Rama, would you be as good today? I don't think so. I think it sounds like there's a through line, a connection between those things that opened you up.
Definitely. We are like the land, the soil with many layers. All those layers are experiences that came and became you. So definitely, I went through many experiences, and not just experiences with the Rama group. I've been with many other groups of contact, looking at different modalities of contact and learning from every single one of them until I got to this point. But I think the most dramatic experience that I lived was in 1990. I was 20, and I was quitting all the spiritual field and searching for God and everything. I just wanted to be a professional in the field I was studying in the university, and I really wanted to be just a normal guy.
Yeah.
Marry someone, have kids, and stuff like that.
Right.
I was 20 at the time, and in my view, I was looking or searching for this bigger reality since I was 12. So I felt like a veteran already. It was a long time searching, and there was no certainty, no insurance, no nothing. So I quit. But months later, after I quit, something happened. It's like, it's difficult to express this, because I think I have to modify even my original language, Spanish, in order to express the experience. I said that for 4 days, my mind was out of the perception of the third dimension. I was perceiving something like the fourth dimension.
Yes.
Like the fourth dimension of consciousness. I was even anticipating stuff that was coming in the future. I could anticipate 4 weeks in advance, things like that. I couldn't go beyond that. Months or 2 years ahead, no. But I could anticipate very clearly what was going on. But not only anticipation in time. I'm just saying that in the frame of the perception of a 4 dimension, which is time. But also, I realized that our physical bodies are the expression of our minds. The way our minds work
Sure.
just extend to the way you use this vehicle. And I could see that we were more than just matter. We were actually energy, very intelligent energy. And I could see ourselves as that energy. And I could sense the emotions of people. I could sense their stories and their history as I approached them. And the light I was seeing in myself, I could see it clearly in everybody. And for 4 days, I was in that state of consciousness. And it was like God looking through my eyes.
Well, and it's, I just want to, it's fair to say that when you were younger and you had seen a UFO, you then studied how and to enhance your ability to make contact with multidimensional beings. And I'm thinking maybe that started your opening up process where you're able to receive something like this and have such an intense 4-day experience.
Yes, could happen like that. But it came in a moment when I already quit the whole experience, when that thing took me in and back in the tracks of the spiritual path, because from there I couldn't just leave the thing anymore. I went back to my searching, my studies, and I went in again.
Okay. So, and I know that I saw in an interview you did that you actually, to convince somebody that you could contact aliens, that you scared them. You proved to them you could do that by scaring them. Do you remember that story? The little girl?
The little girl, I had so many stories, I don't know, remind me of that one.
Well, just that there was some kind of proof and you waited till nighttime came and then she saw something you saw or experienced something you did, just to prove that you could be in contact with aliens or multidimensional beings. You don't recall?
No, I don't remember that. I remember some other instances. At some point in one of those meditations, this being told me that he was going to put something in my middle finger. And it was some kind of device, technologically advanced or whatever, that I was supposed to point up, and 2 miles ahead of us, on top of us, there was going to be a opening of a doorway or something.
A portal.
Yeah, so they were going to be able to pass through that portal into our reality. So we witnessed that. And I remember when my friends, the closest friends, asked me, and what happened? Where is that device? And I put the finger to them and I told them, well, let's go to the field. And I showed them. I put my finger up, we meditate for a little bit, and then suddenly a light just shine on top of us and move to the side and move in different directions. And yeah, those things happen.
Can you still do that? Do you still have the device?
No, I'm talking, that was in 1997. It's been a long time since I got that. That was like a game, and I don't play like that anymore. It's dangerous to play like that.
Just for proof like that. So a lot of people who watch the Hollywood movies just say to themselves, well, one day if the aliens will exist, maybe they'll land on the lawn of the White House and actually prove it. But actually many other people believe they've been here all along. They are here. They're here in different dimensions. They can move in and out of different dimensions. Many people are in contact with them, are having communion and discussions and conversations and getting information from them, usually in a beneficial sense. Would you agree with that?
I think it's a good experience. Is helping the collective to expand consciousness. Is an invitation to appreciate reality in a different way, an invitation to grow, if we accept that. if we accept the invitation. I think it's there, but you need to have the will to go through it. So I don't know if the aliens are going to the backyard of the White House, but I think if you go to the places of power, the mountains, the deserts of the planet, you can actually get close to them, and they receive the invitation and they go, and you can have an exchange with them. Now, I don't think they are actually aliens from another planet. That was my thinking when I was in my 20s. Right now, no, not at all. I'm not even sure what are they. They for sure have good intentions. I don't doubt about it. But the reality they come from, it is so out of whatever we know, so strange that we don't have the language to understand it.
Okay, but we could say they're in another dimension, perhaps.
That's a way of saying it, yeah. Like saying they come from another planet, or they are fairies, elves, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different language through time, pointing at the same phenomena that we don't get to understand fully. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what you have communicated with them, what you've received from them, I assume has helped you in your life. What information do you remember that was particularly helpful to you, or how has it improved your life?
I feel that I can help people through my practice. That's one, because of this intuition, this way of perceiving the field of their emotions and thoughts.
Okay, so through your contact with these beings, these energies, it's improved your practice, your ability to be a therapist, a hypnotherapist for your clients, because you're bringing a lot of intuition in to help them.
Yeah, that's one. Another one could be in situations of danger, I receive like
warnings
or advice of shifting or changing direction or doing something. Or sometimes it's a vision. Like I remember in my, my 20s, one day I woke up and I was feeling like strange in my room, and I started walking from one direction to another direction, and I was like, what's going on? And then suddenly I saw in my mind this image of this tiger inside a cage, and then my mind associated the tiger is my brother, because in the Chinese horoscope he is the tiger. So I thought, my brother is in a cage, what is this about? And then I remember, oh, my brother is going to get his military card.
Yes, and he's going to be a warrior.
Yeah, and so he was taken against his will to serve in the military.
Gotcha.
He was gonna get the card, but they took him and put him in harm, in a dangerous situation, because they were gonna fight the terrorists in the north of my country, and they were gonna send him there. And nobody in my family knew, so I went to my father and I said, you know what, something happened to my brother, go look for him. And yeah, they went looking for him, and he was detained, and he was going to be sent to the north. So those things are like they are there, vibrating.
Sure.
If you connect with that information, it's going to save you from awful situations.
So you would encourage people to enhance their intuition. And what about astral projection? Do you still do that?
No, not consciously. Since I was 12, 14, for like 3-4 years, I was practicing a lot in my teenage years. But then I realized that there were some limitations in the astral field. Just like we have laws in the physical, like gravity. Well, they have also laws, maybe no gravity, but some other laws. And I realized that I'm looking for something without limitation. So I just let go of that experience. From time to time, it happens spontaneously. I can just detach and go somewhere, but I don't look for it.
So I guess my last question to you is what you're writing books, you're doing occasional workshop, you're going to speak at Conscious Life Expo. What do you want people to know about what you know, and what can they do to better their lives with the information you have?
Scott, I think that we humans are more than we think. It's like we are living this a scenario that is a fiction. I think we are in a kind of a simulation of reality. And we are supposed to trigger the potential that was deposited in us at the moment we came into this experience. And I think as long as we continue in expansion, we will get to know what is inside of us. Sometimes I feel that when we try to contact with these alien beings, we are actually contacting with a higher aspect of ourselves.
Yes, I agree with you. Yep.
And I think part of that field of knowledge came into this reality and manifest as you, as me. And now we are trying to wake up in the middle of this dream in order to help others to wake up.
Wake up so they can actually experience life to its fullest. And it would be a great start if I recognize I am you. I'm you.
Oh, definitely. There is no you, me, them. No, it's just me. Always.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Enrique, where can people find more information in Espanol and English on you?
In English, there are a few videos in English related to the topic of REM healing. Probably if you write REM healing in YouTube, you're going to find maybe 4 or 5 videos.
Okay.
In Spanish is mostly the work I do. For some reason, Source sent me to work with the Hispanic community first. So I think we are like those needles of acupuncture.
Yes.
We put just in the place we are supposed to be in order to make the energy flow. And I think that was my role with this community, the Hispanic community. And with the Anglo community is more like an embrace, like, yes, we're here, we're fine. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for joining me. This was great. Oh, and what can you say to the bilingual audience that's watching right now? What would you say to them in Spanish?
To the Spanish people, go to my channels
No, en español.
Oh, you want me to speak in Spanish?
To our bilingual audience, sí.
Bueno, los invito a adquirir la revista Radiance. Es una revista que se está dedicando al tema de la expansión de la conciencia y como ven, estoy yo de invitado, pero tienen a Greg Braden, Joy Dispenza y de tantos otros. Y Radiance va a estar cubriendo el tema de la Expo Vida Consciente en el año 2020, así que los invito a todos a participar también, acercarse a la revista y acercarse a lo que hacemos nosotros. Gracias.
Very nice. Yes. And this article will appear in the January issue of Radiance Magazine, which can be found at radiancemagazine.org and at 660 locations in Southern California. Thank you, Enrique Villanueva, for being here. Appreciate it.
Gracias, Scott. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.